Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Making an Impact with Zebu Nation. And today we have for you the three-quarter season update for the 2019 MLS regular season. Let's get right into it. As you can see here, after 26 games, we're in second place in the Eastern Conference. We got 13 wins, 5 draws, 8 losses, total of 44 points, and a plus 11 goal differential. So we're looking really good, really strong. It's basically just us and Columbus right now at the top of the Eastern Conference. Philadelphia is our closest competitor, 6 points back. So we're only 2 points back of Columbus for that top spot in the Eastern Conference. So we're looking right now with 8 games left to go. We're looking like one of those top 2 playoff spots. Not quite secured, but we're in the driver's seat for one of those top 2 spots. That's looking pretty good. Now, as far as the supporter shield's going, we've got, a little bit different problem, and that problem is the Western Conference. They're really good. Houston, 50 points. Sporting KC, 54 points. LA Galaxy, 55 points. So the Western Conference is very good, especially at the top. So I don't know, that puts us 11 points back of LA. I don't know how reasonable it is to think we're going to win a supporter shield this season, but we're not really expected to. Board just wants us to finish top half. So if we can do better than that, then that's pretty awesome. As far as the Canadian Championship goes, we're supposed to reach the final. We did that. Now I wanted to do a big Canadian spectacular, and I did that, but I'm not sure I'm too happy with it. So I might not upload it, or maybe you didn't watch it. But if you didn't watch it, we'll look back at the Canadian Championship real quick. And we won the first game against Ottawa Fury, our affiliate club. Beat them 1-0. It was a pretty good game. Of course, we had all of our Canadians in the game there. Crapeau in goal. He played pretty well. Got the shutout, so you can't say much about that. I mean, we'd had a lot of average ratings, but our wingers played really well. Kyle Larin played really well. Got an assist. Let me pause it here for a second. Okay, sorry about that. I thought somebody was knocking on my door, but it turns out it's just a little thunderstorm going on outside. Alright, so anyway, take a look at the goal here. It's pretty good. So yeah, it was, we were expected to win this game, obviously, playing against a second division team at home. But it wasn't really that easy. It was a pretty defensive game till Kyle Larin just proved that he was better than everyone, went up over the top of their whole defense, headed it on to Jackson, and he got the 1 goal for the game. So it's not that we played all that much better than Ottawa. It's just we have the best player on the field, and we got the ball to him, and he made a play when it counted. So that's how we got our 1-goal lead. And then we went into the second leg, ended up a 1-1 draw, and we won it on aggregate. So it was a good performance. You got to give your hats off to Ottawa. They played very well. Chonier played for them both matches. He didn't play very well, unfortunately, but he did play against us. I had most of my lone players. I always set them to be able to play against me just in case this happens, which sounds strange, but when you play in North America, not a lot of the games get actually played out for real. They're just simulated. So the only chances you have to get real games for your players is if they're allowed to play against you when you play them in friendlies or in cups or whatever like that. And occasionally, they'll play against other Major League Soccer teams and get real games in that way. But for the most part, it's all simulation. So I like to allow them to play against me, just for them to get that experience playing at a higher level. So anyway, 1-1 was the result of the second leg. We went away to Ottawa. They got a nice little stadium. I don't know that they're ever going to be a major league team, but they might have the facilities to pull it off one day. So here's Ottawa going up early. Duba gets a nice cross, heads it into Howarth. It's very reminiscent to our game that won us, or our goal that won us the last game. Pouring rain. Here's Romero. Throw in. Andre with a neat little back pass. Romero back to Salmon. Salmon into Piet, and Piet gets the equalizer. That's all we needed. A little 2-1 aggregate victory for the Canadian Championship. And that puts us in Champions League for next year. So that's another thing we got to look forward to. So that's very, very cool. Other Canadian updates. I sort of picked a preliminary Under23 squad. And it's okay. We have some Olympic qualifying coming up, and I really want to get in there and qualify for the Olympics. That would be a big, big achievement for this Canadian team. We're kind of lacking firepower. It's only players 22 and under, so nobody over the age of 23 can play in the qualifying rounds. I think you can have 3 to 5 players over 23 once you make the Olympics, but pre-Olympics, no deal. So our best players are Gager and Calabrini. So it looks like we're going to have, a tough defense. But for the most part, we're going to be dealing with 2-star type players. And we got 2-star players all the way up and down the board. Several of our players are going to be there. You look at sort by clubs here. We got 3 players from the Impact Academy. Marical, Brune, and Paco Grande. Then from the Impact themselves, we got Gager, Montero, Johnson, Meunier, Shom, Ortiz, and we'll probably be adding a couple of others because some of our other players are playing on the under-20s and also for the main national team. Most notably, our number 1 prospect, Chevalier. He's playing for the playing for the senior team. So hopefully we're going to get him available for the under-23s and play him in a real game. So that'd be nice. All right. So we've looked over competitions. We looked over Team Canada. Let's run down the checklist, which we haven't done in a while, and see where we're at. So academy-wise, not much has changed. Van Eck is still leaving. I tried to get Van Eck to come and play for us, switch his allegiance to Canada, but he has decided that he's going to go Dutch for the foreseeable future unless he doesn't start making any teams. He has no youth caps. So, if we can offer him, once we get a little closer to game time, and if we offer him a position and he doesn't get a position offered by the Netherlands, maybe he'll come and play for us in the under-23s. We'll see about that. Lambert is still our number 1 prospect other than Van Eck, who is, of course, leaving on a transfer. So not a lot has changed there. Finances, we're still up and down. We're down to a $4 million transfer budget, $5.9 million overall balance. We're losing money every month. So we're going to need to cut costs, and that's going to be pretty easy once we get some of these other contracts off the books and settle down a little bit. I was reading online a blog, an FM blog. I think it's just Football Manager's blog, and they were talking about playing Moneyball with Football Manager, and that's pretty interesting read. It's interesting to look at the background. If you're not familiar with Moneyball, it was a baseball strategy for one of the Los Angeles teams, the Angels or maybe the Dodgers. I don't remember. Anyway, it's for a baseball team, And they wrote a book about it, and there was a movie about it starring Brad Pitt. And it's just an interesting way to look at your team using analytics and age and value as your leading way of deciding what players to bring on your team. It's no more, at least if you follow the Moneyball strategy, you don't have to rely on the eyeball test, the experience of baseball managers and quote unquote baseball men, or in this case, football men. Now, you still have to rely on that somewhat. You need somebody to put together the team and train the team and, find the players and stuff like that. But it's much more about using analytics and a value proposition on your players. And you could definitely do that for FM. I do that somewhat for FM. I definitely have young players. I look for value. I look for, inexpensive players because I'm not used to the big market transfers. I just don't understand that level, like spending $80 million on a player to bring in. I've never seen the value of that. You just look no farther than Yaya Toure. We spent tons of money on him, and he's played okay, sure. But is he better than a lot of other guys? Not really. So, is he better than Andre, who we brought in for chump change? Not really at all. So I don't know. Play Moneyball. It might be a good strategy. Now I wonder how many people use this Moneyball strategy and have attribute masking turned off. I think that would be a very easy way to do it and be successful. But I think even with attribute masking on, that would make it a little more challenging. But still, I think pretty rewarding to do it that way. So that's how I do it. And I always take anybody who plays the game with attribute masking off, I always take their advice with a grain of salt, because in my opinion, it makes it too easy to find players and too easy to just have the best players, no matter what you pay for them. Especially if you play the Moneyball style, it makes it even easier to say, well, why would I pay $80 million for this guy that I know when I can just search everybody in the world and find a player just as good who's maybe not as heralded, Anyway, rant on that maybe some other time. But anyway, in terms of finances, we're looking good. We don't necessarily need to play Moneyball, but we do have to have a little bit better grasp on things than we have now. Board-wise, we are currently untouchable, 75%. We're on a huge run right now. We're improving our training facilities as well. Got the board to do that. It's going to be next year, so we'll have better training facilities. That'll help us out, get the most out of our players. Go to the club here. Try to move things along a little quickly. Not a lot has changed in terms of the club. Chevalier is now our hot prospect, so that's good. Toure is our key player. Check out some news here. Duverne is injured. Romero's a little bit injured. Let's see. Where's that piece of news that I was looking for? There's Montreal wins the Canadian Championship. That's good. The piece of news has gone away. All right, so let's go back to our man Toure. See if he has... Can you look at personal news for him? Anyway, the point is Toure has decided to retire. He's going to retire at the end of the season in his prime, according to him. So I guess that's good for us. He's not going to be clamoring to get a new contract. We weren't going to give him a new contract anyway. But now we can sort of send him out in style. His contract expires in 3 months. Doesn't say he's retiring. But anyway, that's the big news concerning the club. Yaya Toure retiring. I mean, he's had an illustrious career. Man City was at like 8 years at Man City. Played outstanding for them. Has done okay for us. 20 appearances this season, 3 goals, 2 assists, 6.95 average. That's pretty good. Could be better, especially for what we're paying him, and that goes back to the Moneyball situation. Was he really worth it, all this money? Probably not, if I'm honest with you. Transfers, of course, not a lot going on with transfers. We've made a few here and there, just trying to trade some, trade some players around. Well, not players around. We tried to trade some players, but we couldn't trade some players. Trade some draft picks and things like that. So let's see. Transfer history. Oh, we made the big move for Bruno. Hopefully you saw that in one of our previous episodes. He was our big transfer in the offseason. Again, it's another sort of Moneyball thing. He's valued at $3 million, only 23 years old. Very good physicals. I don't know how much he's going to be playing this year. We don't want to sort of disrupt the club, but next year, he'll be in there for sure. Get our trades. So we had one trade with NYCFC. We got their second round pick. We sent them 2 draft picks. Our second round pick, 4th round pick, and $50,000 in allocation money. They're going to have a much lower draft pick than we are, or higher draft pick, depending on how you put it. A better draft pick, because they're terrible this season. So it's no problem trading away our second round pick for their second round pick. Just a little bit, adds a little bit of value to our second round pick next year. So not a lot interesting in the transfer market, of course, because the transfer window is closed, so can't really do anything about it. All right. Medical center, not a lot to update in the medical center. Duverne, as you saw, is still a little bit banged up. He's in the rehabilitation phase. We're not going to rush him back. No need at this point. Romero also still injured again. No need to rush him back. Training, staff, all that is pretty much the same. We're going to let a couple of staff members go this season. Not going to re-up their contract, so might see a little bit of a change on the staff next year, but not too much. We have the one scout who's retiring, so we got to pick a replacement for him. Dynamics, of course, we're looking pretty good. We do have some concerns, though. Mancosu doesn't think he's going to get much first team, and he's right. Same with Hassler. Kind of wants to leave. But the big problem is Vargas. He's been shown some interest by Hamburg. And he wants to go. He wants to leave. They're in a slightly bigger conference. Well, not slightly bigger. They're in the Bundesliga, so they are, better reputation worldwide. Their team has a better reputation. They're 3.5 stars as opposed to us, we're 3 stars. So he wants to go. He wants to play continental football, as it were. But the thing is, we are playing our own version of continental football next year. We're in the Champions League, so maybe that can stave him off and make him agree to stay. Now, as I mentioned, the transfer window is closed, so we don't have to deal with Hamburg unless they come through with his release clause. He has like a $6 million release clause. So it's possible we could lose Vargas, but we've got a lot of wingers, so we should be able to make up for that. Other than those concerns, we're very good. We're excellent locker room atmosphere. The hierarchy is looking okay. Romero's still at the top by himself. Most of the leadership supports us. A lot of the young players support us, so that's good. Social group, still the main 2, A and B, with another... A and B down here, in the core social group up top. So everybody's got their own social groups. Nobody's left out in the cold, so that's good. Happiness, we got a few people concerned. Vargas, and, we saw those. But other than that, not many people are upset. And even those guys aren't really upset. Slightly unhappy, and content for Vargas. So it's okay. We're okay. I guess that's it. Other than we can look at the schedule, see how we got here. We saw the Canadian Championship win. We lost to Bologna in our friendly, but we just played a rotated side there. So this was sort of our affiliate week here, where we played our domestic affiliate Ottawa twice, and then we played our international affiliate Bologna once as well in a friendly. So that was kind of a fun week. Played Atlanta United and NYFC twice, Seattle. We had a very good stretch, and by very good I mean undefeated stretch from June 1st all the way up until now. We're undefeated in competitive matches. The only loss since then was the one loss in the friendly. So in competitive matches, we've been undefeated for 2 months. All of June, 3 months. All of June, all of July, all of August. Undefeated. That's a way to get yourself to the top of the table, that's for sure. And you know how I was railing on NYFC and their roster problems? I don't know how Philadelphia's doing it, but they've got roster problems of their own. Look at this. They have 17 players on their entire roster. $4.2 million payroll. Speaking of Moneyball, SI needs to work on their algorithms for Major League Soccer. I mean, you can't have a team with 17 players on it. That's ridiculous. They can't even field a full squad. If you look at their senior squad, they got all these scrubs on their team. Look at this. Grayed out players. It's insanity. I don't understand. They even have 3 players out on loan who should be on their team. These guys, Fontana, Trusty, and Hunter, all 3 of these guys are young American players with contracts that they could fit under the salary cap. Contracts that would be free. So I don't know why these guys are out on loan when the team needs them. Or why not just go pick up some players on a free? Pick up some American players on a free to fill out the roster. It's not so good. Not so good. All right, it's enough worrying about other teams. Let's get to our team. And we're going to hand this over to the assistant coach. We're still going with the 4-2-4 this week. We are playing DC United, but as you can see, we got a lot of players out on international duty. We got 8 players out. Now, we could have postponed this match, but I decided against it just because I didn't want to mess up the rest of the schedule. You know, if we'd postponed this match, then we'd be playing 2 games next week, and we'd have pretty much the same problem that we have now with 8 players on international duty. We'd have a whole team full of players who were tired and having to play 2 matches. So rather than sort of increase the risk of injury, we've got a deep squad, so we'll just play a bunch of players who don't normally play, but a lot of them are match fit anyway because we've been playing them on and off anyway. But also, a lot of the players who are out on international duty are our Canadian players. So not all of them are starters anyway. Look at all the players for Team Canada who are out. So a lot of them are reserve players anyway, and the ones that are starters, you know, it's fine. They can be replaced. So let's get to our team selection. See who we got on the bench. We got Mancosu on the bench. Mendy, one of our youngsters. Carrera, another one of our youngsters. He's very tired, but we don't really have another option. Actually, that's not true. We could put Romero on the bench. He's coming off the injury, but he's actually more fit. So that's fine. And then we got Nasco, our draft pick, Watts, Giglio, Montero on the bench. So it's, you know, we still have a full bench. Even with 8 players out on international duty, we still have a better team than Philadelphia, which is crazy. Even though Philadelphia is actually doing pretty well this season. But here we are, playing DC United. And we didn't even look to see what position DC United is in these days. Look at the competitions. They're doing okay as well. They're in 4th place solidly. There's Philadelphia. Third. I don't know how they're doing 3rd place with only 17 players on their roster. I guess they've avoided the injury bug, because if that happens, they're out of luck. But anyway, DC United, also a playoff team, so we got to worry about this matchup. They're going with the 4-2-3-1 DM. Let's see, they got Koval, Medeiros as the defensive midfielders. That's pretty good. Acosta moved him to the center as an advanced playmaker. That's interesting. Verón up top as their leading goal scorer. Yes. I think just this symbol means goal scorer, and then the symbol with the... Yeah. 18 goals. That's pretty good. That's a lot. All right. Luigi up front as well is a great player. Anyway, for our lineup, this is a very familiar lineup. Crepeau in goal. Taylor, Salmon at the fullbacks. Cabrera and Jaguar at central defense. Jaguar is really coming along. The game time we've been giving him has been paying off. He just continues to improve and improve, and that's, nothing but good for our team. Toure and Andre in the midfield, so basically our starting midfield. Vargas, Mane on the wings, Dupuis and Vasquez up top. So we got our youngsters, or well, at least Vasquez is our youngster. Dupuis, I don't think we can consider him a youngster anymore. He's like 25 years old. All right, come on, guys. Show me what you can do. Keep our run going. And the pep talk. Okay. Philadelphia. Let's see. Who do we got to close down on? Obviously, Verón. You know that... Luigi's going to come forward. Might as well close down or tightly mark all of their advanced players. Yeah. I don't think we need to mark many of their guys. Looks like this fullback, Francis, might be coming forward, so we'll close down on him just in case. Not going to tightly mark him just yet. We'll see what sort of danger he provides. Send the assistant. So this is an away game at DC United. They've got a new stadium. They don't play in the old Redskins stadium anymore, at least not by 2019 anyway. Oof, Stieber goes right around our fullback. Cabrera is there, though. Gets it to Vargas. See what he can do. Not much. All right, so there ends the first highlight. We've been playing on key highlights, but let's go to extendo highlights. So I did that whole Canadian spectacular. Oh, we got a highlight here. Taylor, throw in far side to Dupuis. Tries to get it forward. Andre has to settle it down. He gets it forward to Mane. Mane with the shot. Instead, has to make a tough save. We're going to get a corner out of it. Here we go. Toure on his retirement train. Sends it in. Jaguar can't win the header. Stieber tracks it down. Stieber again, and that's the end. So yeah, the Canadian Spectacular, I ran through it, but I wasn't real happy with it. Here's Dupuis, gets it out wide to Vargas. Interesting play. Sends it back for Dupuis, wins the header, but Usted is there. That's a good little give and go on the outside there. So I'd like to do another Canadian update once we get closer to the Olympic qualifying. Luigi, Birnbaum, here's DC United on the attack. Dupuis wins it. He's going to start the counterattack, possibly. Yep, gets it out to Vasquez. Down to Manny. Look at him speeding past the defense. They can't catch him, but that was a bad shot. Because I am pretty excited about these Team Canada games. I'd like to be the head coach of the main team. Here's Toure. Vasquez. Vargas, is he going to take a shot? Yep. And he scores. Wow, the left footer. This is why I don't want to leave Vargas, man, or lose him. He's so versatile. Plays that left wing very well. Can go inside with the inside forward. Can move up to striker. and he's so young. He's just going to get even better. So I really don't want to lose him, but I think the writing's been on the wall for a while. All right, here's Luigi trying to get forward. Acosta sends it into Verón. He's looking for support, can't find it. Miller to Acosta. Crepeau, nice save. So yeah, I'd eventually like to be manager of the main team, the senior team, when we go to the World Cup. But I don't know that's going to happen this cycle, because our current coach just got hired at the end of the last cycle when Team Canada failed to make the Olympics, or failed to make the World Cup. So I think they're going to give him this shot to make the World Cup. And if he does, then I'm sure they're going to give him the next shot, because they played really well in the Gold Cup competition. So this is a team that could possibly qualify for a World Cup. Here's Vasquez. That shot is deflected and out of touch. So I don't know. It might be, quite a while before we get our shot at the main team. So, to give this shot at the Olympics, I think is good enough. It'll give us, it'll whet the old appetite, wet the whistle for international play. All right. 30 minutes down. It's been pretty good. We've been dominating for the most part, but looks like DC's trying to make a comeback. Acosta can't make a connection, but Luigi tracks it down, headed out by Salmon, and there ends the highlight. Vargas and Vasquez playing very well. I like to see Vasquez doing well. He's struggled a bit as a 17-year-old, but now as an 18-year-old, he's starting to come into his own. 18 finishing, 14 composure. We just have to get this guy in better positions to score. I mean, theoretically, he should score just about every time he gets a shot, but we just can't get him shots, unfortunately. Salmon to Dupuis, out to Vargas. Let's see. Gets it to Vasquez. Bad pass. Toure, see what he can do, out wide to Vargas. See, he's like not big enough to go up and get the ball, and he's not fast enough to outrun the defense very often. He's also not quick enough. Oh, here's Verón on the backside. Nice stop by Crepeau. He's also not necessarily quick enough to just beat people off the line, in a poacher type situation. Cabrera, Toure. We're kind of slow playing it here. Out to Vargas. Centers to Andre. It's intercepted. Bad pass. Stieber centers to Verón, and he finishes. That was a bad turnover, boys. Bad turnover. We dropped down to second place. All we need is a win, and we could be in first place. Been getting a lot of draws lately. There's just I don't know if that was sort of half bad pass, half lazy attempt by Andre to go get the ball. And Verón finishes. Not much the goalkeeper can do in that situation. All right, they got an injury on the back line there. Birnbaum. Also, one of their reserves is injured, Bruno Mendes. Okay, here's Birnbaum. There's 44 minutes down, 2 minutes of stoppage time. So let's not let them get a goal here. That would be terrible. I really hate giving up goals just before halftime. Francis. Stieber sends it in. Crepeau's going to make an easy save there. That's good. 1 minute to go. Let's see if we can get one final attack downfield. Bombs it forward. Dupuis can't win it. Verón gets a hold of it. To Acosta forward. Salmon, good play there. Crepeau back downfield to Dupuis. Loses the header, but Andre settles it down for Vargas. Up to Vasquez. See if he can get it out wide to Mane. There he is, past one man. Centers it, back post to Dupuis with the header. Yes! That's what we need. Just send it up to the big man. Let him score. There we go. 30 seconds left. This time we do the impossible. Usually it's the computer who does this to us. Last 30 seconds. Or at least that's... I don't know if it happens that often, but you notice it more often when it happens to your team rather than when you do it to the other team. Alright, so there we go. 2 minutes has elapsed. We should be getting to... Hello? Hello? Whistle? Whistle, please? Please? 30 seconds? There we go. Halftime. Okay. Dressing room, pep talk. You've played well, but there's room for improvement. Okay. That's good. I think we're going to... You know, I was going to say hold on to the ball, and maybe we will. We'll try this. Retain possession, work the ball in the box. See if that works. It seems to work. I mean, I don't know there's a reason to do it when we're ahead, but let's see. I feel like DC was sort of backing off. You know, long balls like that probably aren't going to work. But here they are getting the first highlight of the half. Oh, Crepeau just barely made that save off the deflection. Lucky it was going so slow. All right, here we go. DC again winning the out of bounds. There's a nice tackle, but DC retains possession. Verón back post to Luidi. Crepeau with the stop. Crepeau's making some good saves. He hasn't been scored on much during this run where he's been the starter. Mane wins it. Chucks it downfield. Dupuis wins the header. He's one-on-one. Drops it back looking for some support out wide to Vargas. Vargas cuts inside as he's wont to do. Andre up to Vasquez who loses it. But Salmon's going to headle it down. All right. They got 2 yellow cards and an injury still on that back line. So I don't know how aggressive DC can be. Especially with us controlling the ball. That might actually be in our favor. 55 minutes. We've got 11 shots to their 8, but we both have 6 on target. So that's really what counts. We actually have 9 fouls to their 4, but they're the one with 2 yellow cards. They've got 55% possession to our 45, so that's not so good. Okay, they finally brought in Lloyd for their injured player Birnbaum. Also subbed out Stieber, brought in Blanco. Domingo Blanco. Yeah, he's all right. 5'6", 138 pounds. He's kind of small. He's got nice skills, though. Not great physicals, but he's sort of a okay reserve player. Meanwhile, what do we got going on here? We got a yellow card for Taylor. 60 minutes down. Luidi takes a shot into the crowd. So we might need to get Taylor out of there, bringing Giglio in off the bench. Taylor heads it in. Blanco, Corval. Forward to Verón. He looked offside, but no. Crepeau. Another save. They brought Harry Shipp in, so they're starting to get serious here, bringing in some of their veterans. Gigier wins it out straight to Luidi. They're starting to get too many highlights. Dupuis wins the header down to Vargas. Vargas to Andre. He's going to get it forward to Mane. Nice play. See if he can make the cross. Not quite. But Usted is forced to deflect that one out. So we're going to get a corner out of it. Toure drops it back to Vargas. He's going to center it to Vasquez. Nope. No shot. Oh, deflection. Oh, no. Offside. All right. So I don't think Vasquez is the guy to have at the top of the box there. He's got 4 long shooting. That's no good. Vargas, Vasquez, he takes the shot. See, we don't want that. We don't want that. We can't change it now, but I don't know why he's there as opposed to somebody else. But what are you going to do? Luidi tries to get around one man. Ship has it now. Vargas can't win it. Ship playing it around. Luidi. Oof. That could have been a dangerous shot if it was on target. All right, let's tell Taylor to ease off tackles. All right, they're getting too many highlights. Oh, there's Taylor. Vargas up to Vasquez. He just didn't make the run. I mean, if you don't go for the ball, you're not going to get many scores. So that's when, just having the technical ability isn't enough. You got to have the mental abilities to go along with that. Cabrera gets it downfield. Dupuis bombs it forward. Again, Vasquez can't win it. Dupuis is trying to do everything by himself up front. All right, let's make some subs here. Probably not good to sub in the middle of a highlight. But anyway, we're going to put Giglio there. Vasquez, he's sitting on a 7.1 rating, but he just doesn't feel like it. So what I want to do is put Vargas up top, bring Romero in. Here we go. Cabrera, nice win. Bombs it forward. There's Vasquez. He's going to make a great play now. Watch this. Watch this. He's going to make a great play. Sends it in. Dupuis can't get ahead on it. Toure, though, gets it to Vargas. Okay, I won't say he made a great play. He did make an okay play. We're still going to sub him out. And I think we're going to change to counterattack. Send the ball deep. I think they're getting too many steals in the midfield. That's what my feeling is. All right, here we go. Corner. Vargas sends one in. Giger can't get ahead on it. Goes out to Romero. Yeah, that was terrible. But now DC United is going to start the counterattack. It's it forward to Luidi. Bad play on the back line, whoever that was. Verón. Oh, what a stop by Crepeau. Great positioning right in the right spot. He's got to be the man of the match. I mean, he's had so many key saves. Bombs it downfield. This highlight is still going, though. I'm not happy with that. Cabrera gets it forward. Romero. Forward to Dupuis. He chunks it forward. There's Vargas making a run around one man, around two man. Gets a shot on goal. I don't think our youngster Vasquez is quite ready to do stuff like that just yet. We're not doing well with possession. That's fine. 79 minutes. We want the clock to run, so we're okay. Here's Verón. He's getting checked. Cabrera, nice steal. He sends it forward. Dupuis can't get on the end of that one. Here's DC United. Let's go. Let's stop them, boys. There's their substitute Blanco. Costa, Verón looked offside. Okay. It's a combination, I think, of their bad shooting and our good goalkeeping, which is, letting us hold on to this lead. Okay, 83 minutes and counting. Bombing the ball forward. Here's Vargas with the free kick. Giger gets it on head. Oh, Verón on the back post has to save it. So occasionally those guys who sit on the post do actually make saves, so that's good. Here's DC. Luidi has it. Sends one wide. DC's starting to get a little desperate here. They're taking shots from all over the place. They've made their 3 subs. Romero, throw in, far side. Vargas centers to Yaya. Past one man, drops it off to Mane. He can't find the net there. I kind of would have liked to see Yaya shoot that, but he's the one with 15 finishing. Verón, his shot's deflected. Mane gets it forward. Vargas can't win the header. DC United starts it back the other way. Toure has it. Okay. Dangerous play, but yeah, Crepeau just clears it out. I don't think he was expecting that one. We've got 15 fouls this game. Okay, 3 minutes of stoppage time. Crepeau sends one wide. Salmon tracks it down, sends it forward. Vargas is going to get there. He's got Dupuis thundering towards the center of the field. He can't win the header. Andre is there. Andre drops it back. Salmon. Toure. Don't lose it. Thank you. Gets it to Dupuis. Vargas. He gets dispossessed. So DC has played pretty good defense. But we've just got a few good attacks on them. Romero, he can't get his pass through. Still 3 minutes of stoppage time. There's a lot of highlights coming on here. Verón, he looked offside. This is a goal. This is a goal. Yeah. You can't ask Crepeau to do that much in open field. He's a good, sit on the line type of goalkeeper. But you ask him to go one-on-one with Verón. I don't know how he was onside. One of our fullbacks must have kept him onside. All right, so we got 2 minutes of stoppage time to get one back and get the winner. Romero sends one forward. No. Andre to Mane. Out wide. He sends one in. Nobody makes a run for it. This is where I kind of would like to have Mancosu in there, but I just can't afford to put him in. Yeah. So I can start putting him in pretty soon, though, because we've got, after this, there's 7 games left. And he's got 9 games before, before we have to sign him up for next season. So I think, if we put him in for 3 or 4 of the next 7 games, then we'll still have a couple of games left that we could use him in the playoffs. So we'll see. We shall see. Pep talk, not good enough today. We should have won that. Yeah. All right, so we're going to get everybody back from international duty for next week, and that's fine. Honors even. Kansas City secured a playoff spot. LA Galaxy were the first ones to secure a playoff spot last week. They're so far ahead. Again, they're sitting there with 55 points. We didn't really look at the Western Conference. I guess we could take a quick look at the Western Conference. So we know about the top 3, but then after that, it's quite a drop-off. Minnesota with 42 points. Seattle, FC Dallas holding on to that last playoff spot. And then there's even another drop after that, 5 points down to Portland. So the Western Conference seems to be fairly stratified. Top 3, middle 3, and then bottom the rest, 6. As for the Western Conference, we're a little bit more packed together. It's top 2, and then sort of, I guess, middle like 7 or 8. And middle 7, I suppose, and then bottom 2. So once again, the Eastern Conference is a little bit more tightly packed together, but the Western Conference maybe has the better top-end teams, especially with LA Galaxy coming through the way they have this season. But look at that. Sporting KC has kept right up with them, 55 points now. They got one more game in hand than LA Galaxy does, but still, after finishing 22nd last season. Let's take a look at their registration. How many players do they have? They got 24 players, so they've at least crossed the 20-player threshold, and they're only spending 3.95 of the salary cap. I don't know why they don't have more players. But anyway, they are the top team, so we got to watch out for them. You know, I wish that the coaches had a little bit better AI, or the general managers whoever's in charge of these teams. I wish they had a little bit more defined AI. I mean, the AI is what this game is all about. So it's easy to criticize and say we wish they had more and more and more, because it's already a pretty sophisticated AI to be able to deal with all these teams, all these players from across the world. You know, there's an infinite amount of possibilities. When you think about the decisions that you have to make as a player, imagine the computer having to make those decisions for however many hundreds of teams that you've got loaded. So it's not that easy. But still, just wish it was a little bit more refined, especially when it comes to MLS. I mean, in other leagues, you can just have have players on your team. It doesn't matter. As long as you can afford them, it doesn't matter. So I just don't think the computer quite parses out the salary cap versus their total budget. I mean, it's hard. It's hard to program logic to take all that into account, but they've been getting better and better with MLS. You know, I've been playing since FM16, and they've just gotten better with the depictions of the league. So hopefully next year, I mean, unless you believe their April Fool's tweet of them saying FM18 is the last version they're going to publish. I saw that out there, but, you know, obviously April Fool's. But anyway, maybe next year they'll have even more sophisticated AI for MLS, and that would help things out. But until then, we're going to have to deal with what we got. And what we got is, you know, a couple of games coming up. Got a pretty decent schedule going down to the end. Some interesting games. New England, Columbus, New York Red Bull, Houston Dynamo, Chicago, LA, Philadelphia. Those are all pretty top teams. I mean, Chicago might be the worst team there. They're 6th place. Yeah, I guess New England and Chicago are right there. But we don't have any more bottom teams to play against. No, we have no more bottom teams to play against. Look at this. We're playing LA, the 1st team in the league. We're playing Houston, 3rd team. Columbus, 4th. Philadelphia, 7th. New York, 9th. Chicago, 12th. And New England, 13th. So everybody we're playing is coming from the top half of the supporters shield. So we got to watch out for this final. Now, I mean, I don't think we're going to drop enough to miss out on the playoffs. That would be pretty bad. Especially with Chicago having 29 games played already. I don't know that we'll fall that far. But all we need is to get to 50 points, and I think we're safe. So if we get, 2 more wins or a win and 2 draws, then I think we're looking pretty solid to at least make the playoffs. So that's what we're going to look forward to in the final quarter of the season. And I don't know there's a game on here that we can really skip, unfortunately. So I guess we'll just play out all of these games and see what we can do. So until next time, we'll come back with New England, and we'll see you then. Bye-bye.